Good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. This video is gonna be about propane. I'm gonna explain why I hate propane and why I wouldn't advise people to use propane as an energy source for too many of their appliances in their homes. And obviously, I'm talking to those of you who own regular homes like myself. Now, propane does have its benefits, and I will go over that briefly. So let's get to it. Now, a lot of times, whenever you're purchasing a home like me, you're purchasing a home in a rural area, natural gas is not going to always be available. And some of the houses out in these rural areas, some of your appliances are going to run off of propane as opposed to electric. Like the house I purchased, quite a few of my appliances run off of propane. My furnace, which is central, my hot water heater, my hot water heater, my stove, and even my dryer is all gas, propane gas to be specific. Now, later on in the video, I'm gonna show you. My propane tank, and I'm gonna show you one of the reasons why I don't like propane. So later on in the video, I'll show you my tank. I'll show you the gauges and all that good stuff, just so you guys know more what I'm talking about. But here's why I hate propane. For starters, it is expensive as hell. Propane is more than natural gas. It costs more to use propane than natural gas. It's also more expensive as an energy source compared to electric. Let me explain. Now, down here in Alabama, we've had a colder than normal winter, so I've been going through crap loads of propane. I would say every week I use up 25 gallons of propane every week. And every time I need to fill up my propane tank, now this time around, I had to pay. Now, normally to fill up a propane tank, at least for now, because kind of like your gas prices, well, maybe not as often. Your propane prices fluctuate, kind of like I guess natural gas prices do. Now, this past time that I had to fill propane, it ran me $650 for 200 gallons of propane. Now, this time around, however, I had to pay $750 to fill my tank. No, I take that back. To fill my tank, it ran me $675. I paid $750 this time around to fill it up, and I'll tell you why. Because see, what happened was, when I first purchased this house, I decided to purchase 100 gallons of propane, which ran me $350. And I was thinking 100 gallons of propane. I mean, I guess there must have been some miscommunication between me and the technician, because I was under the impression that 100 gallons of propane would be enough to hold me for this winter. Because here in Alabama, we typically don't have long winters, and the winters down here normally are fairly mild. So I purchased 100 gallons of propane, I want to say in mid-November. And when I got home from work 2 weeks ago, which was maybe which was the first week of January, entering into the second week of January. So from mid-November to the very beginning of the second week of January, I got home from work one day and I was completely out of propane because I came home, my house was cold. I tried to cut on my stove and I couldn't cut it on because there's no propane. So I ran myself completely dry. Now, here in Alabama, if you run yourself out of propane and you call your propane provider to come and fill you up again, at least where I'm at, they're going to charge you $75 to extra on top of the regular fee to fill you back up. And they're going to charge you that extra $75 because they have to, because whenever you're running yourself out of propane, they have to come back out and they have to test your lines to make sure there's no leaking. Because that's per state law here in Alabama. They have to test your lines to make sure there's no leaking. So I ran myself out of propane like a fool. And I had to pay that extra $75. So from now on, whenever I order propane, I'll pay the maximum, I'll pay the price necessary for them to fill me up to the max. Now, another thing about propane is, like for me, I have a 250, my gallon holds 250 pounds, not pounds, but my tank holds 250 gallons of fluid. Now, if I was to put water in that tank, I could fill it all the way to capacity, 250 gallons. But when it comes to propane, by law, they can only fill the tank 70%. There has to be 30% of space, I guess. So, I don't know the technical terms, but by law, you cannot fill propane to full capacity. You have to leave a little bit of space for air or whatever. So I guess your tank doesn't explode or something crazy. Which later on in the video, I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. So this past time I had them come back out and fill me up, I ordered 200 gallons, which was the most I could order. So they came out, they put my 200 gallons, they filled my 200 gallons up. And normally, I would have had to pay $675 for the fill. But like I just explained, I had to pay $750 because they had to come and test my lines for leaking since I ran myself out of propane. So FYI, if you're purchasing a property that's on propane, or for whatever reason you're using. All right, folks, as I was saying a second ago, I had to quit the video because I was running out of space, so I had to clear my disk. But as I was saying, if you're going to purchase a home that is on propane, or you're going to use propane for any reason for a regular home such as mine, a regular stick-built structure, just whatever you do not run yourself completely out of propane. Do not run yourself completely out of propane, whatever you do. Because if you do, many of these companies will charge you extra money to have to come out and retest your lines. I don't know what the laws are for other states when it comes to propane, but here in Alabama, they have to test your lines whenever you're running yourself out of propane. Or if you're a new customer, they got to test your lines. So this FYI. But as far as it goes, when I compare the cost of propane to the cost of electric to the cost of natural gas, I would say the cheapest way to heat up your home in the winter, at least here in Alabama, is going to be electric. And then from that, I would say would be natural gas. I never had natural gas down here, but from from the information that I've got from other people that do have natural gas where they live, it's the price of natural gas is more reasonable compared to propane. So I would say the cheapest is electric, then natural gas, then propane. Like when I lived up north, the houses I've owned, they were all on natural gas. My furnace and in most cases, in many cases, my hot water heater as well as my stove were all on natural gas. And if I can remember clearly, my natural gas bill never got any higher than $250 a month during the winter. And now bear in mind, up where I'm from in the Midwest, it gets a lot colder up there than it does down here. So, bear that in mind. Now, during the time I've been down here, to where the other two houses I owned down here before this one, all of my appliances were on electric. So during this time of the year, I don't remember my electric bill getting higher than, I would say, a couple $100. Now, where I'm at now, like I said, I got my furnace, which is central. It runs off of propane. Now, I would say on average, right now on average, I go through 25 gallons of propane per week. So when I do the math on what I would have to pay for propane during this time of the year, here where I'm at in Alabama, I estimated that my propane is going to run me, because I figure, it's going to be around $6.75 to fill. That would be the normal price, $6.75, provided that I don't run myself completely out of propane like an idiot. So $6.75 to fill. So I took $6.75 and I divided it by. You know what? Let me do some math real quick and I'll come right back. That way I can give you a more exact figure. So I'll be right back. All right, folks, I'm back. So on average, I pay around $385 per month for my propane. During this time of the year when I'm running my furnace. I don't know what it's going to run me during the warmer months. I ain't been here that long. But I know right now during the colder months of the year, which down here is not going to be real long, at least typically it isn't. But during the colder months like right now, I'm going to be paying $385 a month. That's what the monthly average is when I do my math. And that's just for the propane. Now, on the good side of things, my electric bill is very low. Like my electric bill that I got this past month was for $40. So that's a good thing. However, when I take $385 and I add that to my electric bill, my utilities are going to run me well over $400 a month. Now, back at my other houses here in Alabama, to where everything was on electric, I never had a utility bill for $400. Never. Not even close. The most I had to pay for utilities was $200. I think one time maybe $225, but no more than $225. Now, when I was up in Indiana during this time of the year, I mean, mostly, I would say for the most part, my gas ran about a couple $100 during this time of the year, and my electric probably ran about maybe $125 roughly around this time of the year. So even up in Indiana, between my natural gas and my electric, my utility bills together only added up to around $325 a month. And this is the reason why I hate propane. Now, I will say when it comes to propane, a lot like natural gas, your water will get hot a lot quicker. Your oven will get hot a lot quicker. And if you have a gas dryer, your dryer will get hot much quicker as well. But outside of those things, that's about it. Other than that, I hate propane. If I had the money, I would convert everything to electric tomorrow. But unfortunately, I don't got the money. So, for those of you guys that got the money, I would advise you to convert your appliances to electric. Or, if available, natural gas. Now, I'm gonna show you a quick video of my propane tank, and we're gonna go over a few things on the tank, so you better understand the rest of this video. So until next time, stay blessed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And stick around for that video, by the way. Hey, good day, people. What you guys are looking at is my propane tank, because I have a few things that's been off of propane. I mean, my furnace is off of propane, my hot water is off of propane, my stove is on propane, as well as my dryer. So for those of you that are looking at moving in the country, you're looking at moving in a rural community, and maybe you may not have natural gas available to you, or maybe you're looking at buying a house that comes with propane, kind of like what I got stuck with, at least for now. I'm going to show you guys something here. Now, I'm going to show you guys why, if you can help it, if you got the money, you should convert your appliances from propane to electric, or if available, to natural gas. Because see, if you look at this needle right here, now this is a 200-gallon tank I have right here, and whenever I'm empty, they're not going to be able to fill it up all the way to the top. No, this is a 250-gallon tank right here, and whenever I run low, or I tell them I ran out, like last week, I ran myself out of propane accidentally. So whenever I call them, I tell them I'm out of propane, they're going to only be able to fill me to 200 gallons of propane. They're not going to be able to fill me 250 gallons per the state law, because propane there has to be a little bit of space, I guess, for air circulation when dealing with propane. So here's the reason why I hate propane. Now, yes, propane, like gas, it does heat up the house quicker. It does. It's better. It's better for cooking, in my opinion. And the water gets hotter quicker with propane, just like gas compared to electric. However, they were out here 2 weeks ago to fill me up. Now, if you look at my gauge, 2 weeks ago, the needle was down on the 70. Now, the 70, the needle was down, when they filled me up, the needle was at 70. 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks ago. Because they came 2 weeks ago on Friday. So today's only Wednesday, so not even 4 weeks ago, the needle was on 70. Today, Wednesday, the needle is down to 50. Now, I don't anticipate the needle moving a whole lot from today to Friday, so I would say on average, during this time of the year, on average, each week, my needle moves down by 10. And for every 10 numbers it moves, equals 25 gallons of propane. So on average, I go through 25 gallons of propane per week. Now I'm going to turn you guys around and we're going to have a short conversation about propane.